The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 15th day of September. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with the McKinney and Leanna Lambert, who will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break. Kales, it's been a while.
Hey, it's been a while. We missed you.
Girl, stop that, man.
We did. We missed you. We absolutely missed you. I guarantee you that the audience agrees. Audience, let Jamal know how much you missed him, because I know that you did. Telling you.
Girl, stop. How have you been there? How things?
Honestly, not amazing. This trying to remote learn thing is just like, it is wild, okay? And I know there are so many people who agree with me, like, wild.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You know what's crazy? I was watching the show on Monday. I was supposed to be sleeping, but and I enjoyed every moment of mummyhood that was so public. And what I enjoyed most is how Phil reacted to it. Like, I was just like, man, here's a pro. And I'm going to be speaking about Phil a bit later, so do not go anywhere. I have a story about Phil. He's going to kill me for it, but I'm going to share a story with you folks, because this Monday and Tuesday, let's just put it this way here. Remember how I say all the time, and I remind Michaela, it took a long time to convince her? Phil is in that same boat. So I'm going to tell a story about Phil later, so stick with us. I'm grateful for Phil. I thank Phil. That's my brother. Love the brother. I mean,
yes.
There. So I'm gonna share that with you a bit later. But good morning, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as treatment officer from the National Drug Control, David Parker, is stopping by for a conversation. It's Recovery Month, so we're gonna have a very good conversation about that. The Daily Play is a say it, don't sing it, and random songs just come in when you're on vacation. You hear them,
whatever.
So this random song, I don't think Michaela's gonna get it, folks. The random song.
Big sigh. That's all I have to say, because my track record on this for like the last month has not been great. So I'm kind of just like, although I did completely knock it out the park on Monday, I would just like to say that.
Yeah, Monday I thought Phil had you. I thought Phil had you, and I was like, I mean, Phil's mouth dropped, mine dropped. I'm like, wow, like, Phil, this is what she does, right? This is what
knocked out the park. So we shall see.
And then yesterday, he stomped you. I was like, yes, that's a boy.
See,
like,
those questions irritate me, because it's meant to be broad knowledge. It's meant to be broad. Unions, only the teachers knew that. Only teachers knew that.
I knew it. I knew it.
You did not.
I did, because I've asked that question before in the show. That's the only reason and we had Nishanti.
You would have never known that before. I'm just saying.
No, I wouldn't. But Michaela, I wouldn't have known half of the crap, a majority of the crap that you know. Like, let's be honest, my brain is not like, anyway. She's just one of those people who got an A- in class, and she would go to the teacher and be like, where's that plus to?
Yep.
Like, no, that stroke between that and that minus.
Definitely.
We know we have those, but thank you, Monica Dunstan. Appreciate you always. Don't worry, David Michael R. Wilson. Phil will be back. Do not worry about that. My brother will be back. Charlotte Fox, we miss you, Jamal. I missed the show for a couple of weeks, so busy at work. Well, thank you for coming back with us, Charlotte Fox. We appreciate you. Good morning to you. everyone. Lauren Darrell there. And thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry. And I have to go back and watch Good Day Bermuda because apparently I missed my serenade from the Jackster. Because for those who don't know, Jackie can blow, folks. She's got a voice on her. She's got a voice.
Oh,
apparently,
she's not like you.
Well, apparently, Liana still hasn't forgiven me for her birthday.
Yeah, that was terrible. You better warm yourself up because, my birthday's in less than 3 months. You better get it together.
No, I think we should have Liana sing for your birthday because you messed her birthday song up so much.
Oh, no. I was the only one. The only one.
But we were singing in a group though. How
I understand that. However, I was the one who was doing the right things, and I don't know what you was doing. I don't know what Sherry was doing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, look, Liana's going to bring you some news, so I'm not going to touch that. A lot of things happening in Bermuda. I was shocked to see no Christmas trees, rising cases, and unfortunately, another death, COVID-related death. So condolences to the family, the entire community who's continuously impacted by this. But we have a question today that is non-related. And, I have this thing, I always say to Nikki, my wife, and she probably gets annoyed when I do it, but we travel quite a bit, her more than me. And when we go to different places, especially islands, Michaela, I always say, I start comparing, right? And I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I really don't care if Bermudians take offense to what I'm about to say because it's reality. But there are so many people with loud voices who really do not understand how it works. And you share these pictures of a Bermuda sunset and you're like, oh, where else in the world looks this good? You start talking about country in the world. And I'm like, have you actually been anywhere outside of New York City or away to college where you stayed in a certain area? You've traveled, because I think you went after me many years ago, right after me. You've been to many places as well.
Yeah.
This is an appropriate conversation to have at an appropriate time, because at the end of the day, Bermuda has two main pillars in their economy: tourism and international business. And tourism during our lifetime has not been necessarily profitable. So my question to this morning is, how can Bermuda attract more visitors? Because at the end of the day, folks, there are pools in most of these other destinations that Bermuda is somewhat competing with that are bigger than all of the properties in Bermuda.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, and again, take offense if you will, right? And I love Bermuda. I want Bermuda tourism to work. But I think the BTA under Charles, something they said that's very true through this marketing study is knowing who we are. Because first, honestly, your post about being the best, having the best sunset and this and that, trust me, it ain't it. You get, and I've been privileged to travel. You've been privileged to travel. And every time I go somewhere, I get in comparison mode. What can we do? And the truth is, Bermuda, I was told this after 2 days on the job at Department of Tourism when I started in 2012. I was told, stop. And the person said to me, Bermuda doesn't have product. And you only learn that when you start to go to other places and see what their product is.
Yeah. See, for me, when we talk about Bermuda and the Caribbean, I think what sets Bermuda apart, and I could be wrong here, so I'm happy for other people's opinions. I think what sets Bermuda apart is that you can generally walk around freely. And I think the difference is, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, but in my experience, the difference with Bermuda is you will see Bermudians staying at hotels and resorts, You will see Bermudians who are running businesses. You'll see Bermudians who are doing exceptional tours and these sort of things. When you go to other islands, again, this is just my experience, I don't necessarily feel safe walking around in Montego Bay, for instance. I don't. And I'm not saying that Jamaica is representative of the entire Caribbean, because it is not. But I just think Bermuda is just a little bit different in that regard. When I have friends come and visit, they appreciate the fact that, they can walk around. They appreciate the fact that they stay at a hotel. Locals are at the hotel as well. They can have a conversation with them. And they appreciate the culture in terms of what we have to offer. I mean, we don't have a lot to offer in terms of like, we're not a big, like, people go to Jamaica, you go to, Sting and all these different massive events. We don't have that sort of thing here. So I think it's a big part of trying to figure out what the product is. Like, for instance, I stayed at Hamilton Princess over the weekend, had a lovely, lovely suite. It was fantastic. Not this weekend, Labor Day weekend. And it was absolutely fantastic. The hotel was full. Went to the beach club. It was absolutely outstanding. And I felt very lucky and blessed that I can I can experience something like this whenever I want to, and people are paying thousands and thousands of dollars for this. However, you can lay on a beach anywhere. We can sit here and be like, oh, our water is so clear, our sand's so pink. Yeah, it is. But unless you're a beach snob, you don't really care about that.
Yeah. Well, here's a question, and I think this is a legitimate question. Adeline Stevenson-Swan is asking, why is Jamaica always used as an example?
Oh, because that's the first Caribbean island I went to.
Okay, so
that's why I said Jamaica.
Here's the thing. Actually, Nikki said something similar to me years ago. She said she's never seen how locals just go to Hamilton Princess, to use that as an example, and go to a bar and mingle with tourists. That is something that is uniquely Bermudian, right?
Yeah.
I would agree with you. However, I thought like that as well until I realized, man, and I'm just going to use where I am now, and I could use Barcelona. I can even use South Africa, Johannesburg, right? There was nothing wrong with any of those places just going in their downtown areas and just walking around, right? So that aspect right there it was something that Bermuda benefited from long ago. But now, these places are educated about what tourism means to their economies. You're less likely to be harassed. I remember going on a cruise when I was young in the 90s, and you got off the boat and people were so aggressive. I don't see that type of behavior anymore. I think the most aggressive behavior was when we were in South Africa, in Johannesburg. Like, they just gripped your bags.
Jesus.
And they were like trying to grip it and make you pay for it, whatnot. And I think we still, like I said, no. He still did it. And I said, no, I don't have any tip. Like, I didn't carry cash for tip. And he got mad, but I didn't tell you to grip my bag, right?
Yeah.
I do think, even a thing where Bermudians are friendly and this and that. Well, one of the things about, since we're focusing on Jamaica, is Jamaicans are probably the most friendly people I've encountered during my travels. Everyone's like, yeah, man, Irie, respect, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're authentic about it. You try working at a Bermudian hotel and being like, respect, yeah, safe, whatever. They're going to fire you and say that's not proper, because we're all about proper, not authenticity, but proper.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that we still promote those ridiculous Bermuda shorts as something, it's just ridiculous to me. And yes, if that offends you, they're ridiculous. It's stupid.
A little bit.
It is. It is.
It'll die out in another generation.
It should have died out generation. Bermuda shorts are not representative of my Black Bermudian ass. Bottom line.
They're not at all. No.
The question to everyone is, how can Bermuda attract more visitors? Because, and this is, I'll just share what I've done since I've been here. I've done zip lining, and I'm not adventurous. Let me be clear also. If it wasn't for watching Tamara's movement moment last month, I probably wouldn't have done any of this, because when my wife says, oh, what do you want to do? I'm a guy, I just want to go on vacation and relax. Like, I don't want to do anything. But I was like, you know what? Tamara spoke about different types of vacations. Let me try this adventure.
Look at you doing something different.
Yeah. Tell them about it. So I did the zip lining, right? I did the zip lining. It was very fun. Like, it was like, man, where could we possibly do something like this in Bermuda?
Well, this is the thing. People talk about it, but it's like, oh no, we don't want to damage our parks.
Right.
Remember, like, people there was someone who had gotten approval to do ATVs. They're going to damage the trails. Like, I did ATVing when I was in Grenada. It was like 3.5 years ago.
Mhm.
I was terrified, okay?
Mhm.
Because you're driving on winding roads, going up a mountain. I'm sitting there terrified. Like, we
Mhm.
are right on the edge of the road, and there's a massive drop and a beach at the bottom. And the guy said, "Oh, you want to drive?" No. Like, I will happily sit here, and like Jason's like, "Come on, get video." And I'm sitting there like, okay. Like, terrified. But it was so much fun, and I'm so glad I did it. I mean, ATVing, going up a mountain, going to a waterfall, coming back down to a beach. Like, we ain't got nothing like that here. Nothing.
Well, you make a good point, because we did ATVing yesterday, and that was my next point. It's like the environmentalists then come in, and it's like, where would we do it that would make sense for a visitor experience? Now, Carla John says, "Oh, I thought ATVs were banned because of noise and pollution."
Maybe that was part of it, but I do remember there was some environmental.
Yeah, there was some environmental argument as well. But saying all that is, again, outside of what Michaela explained, because no one in the audience has actually shared anything, right? How can Bermuda attract more visitors? Like, I'm interested to know how Bermudians believe we can attract more visitors. Now, I'm going to use 3 different examples, and I hopefully you can share some of your examples too. So I'm going to use 3 different examples here. I'm going to use South Africa. I'll use St. Lucia, where I am right now, and I'm going to use Barcelona. So 3 different continental areas, right? Barcelona, the biggest draw at the time for me was going to see Lionel Messi play in football. So that was a big draw, tourism-wise, right? South Africa, the biggest draw was literally just going to visit an African country, and I really wanted to go to what was the island that
Robben Island?
Robben Island. So that was the big thing. Obviously, the safari and stuff and the wineries at the time, but those were the 2 biggest reasons.
Right.
St. Lucia, really, I went on a cruise, right, many years ago, probably in the 90s, and it was one of my favorite islands going on that cruise, so I always wanted to go back. Those 3 reasons, those are the things that got me to go to those places, right? So keep in mind, folks, it was the history of Robben Island, it was the sports link for Barcelona, and for St. Lucia, it was an island I loved on a short-term cruise, right? So again, those are things. We have thousands of people that come on cruises to Bermuda. Are we doing enough to get them back to want to fly there and experience it?
Yeah, that's the thing. So like for me, when we went to Grenada, we went because I wanted somewhere that was close enough, but still felt far away, if that made sense. And somewhere where after doing my research, I could be on the beach and in 15 minutes, I could be in the mountains. So something wildly different from what I experienced in Bermuda. But generally, when I travel, honestly, I travel for food. And I know that makes me sound like a greedy person. I am a greedy person. I will wear that greedy person badge. I travel for food. Like, seriously, like Barcelona was all about food. I did food tours. I ate at Michelin star restaurants. Yes, the beach was a big draw because they have a huge stretch of beach and they have all these restaurants and bars lining the beach. So much fun. But that's what I travel for. Like 2 years ago when I did my med cruise, specifically so I could stop in places and eat incredible food. That's what travel is for me. Yes, it's nice. I mean, I'm not the type of person, I don't need to go on a tour and see your buildings. I don't care about your buildings. I don't care about your museums. I don't care about your churches. I don't. Like, I want to eat. I want to be amongst people, not tourists, like locals. And I want to experience the culture and the vibe. That's what I do when I travel. So when we talk about we have the best beaches in the world, we probably do. That's fine. You talk about great sunsets. That's fine too. However, it has to be something more.
Yeah, it has.
Because you can get beautiful beaches anywhere. Everyone's definition of beauty is different.
The truth is, though, and to emphasize your point, Michaela, is loving Bermuda and being Bermudian isn't enough to understand how to attract people to Bermuda. And that's just being honest. Janae Pereira Edna says Coney Island. So that would be a great place for ATVs, I'm guessing, and ziplining. But I guess maybe ziplining, but it's very small compared to some of the rainforest. But what I will say is that ATV tours are not just going on a track and riding an ATV. It's an actual tour part of it. Like, show you different things, you know? So I think we have to keep that in mind. Mishka Fabler says cannabis tourism. yeah, that's something that I've always been a fan of exploring.
Wow. The
Can
government
you
kind of bungled that a bit.
Yeah, can you see now, Kales, for comments?
Short ones.
Okay, Laverna Mendichelli.
I can read that. Is it possible to improve Fairy Reach and create a fun family attraction? What do you mean improve? Fairy Reach is great, Laverne.
Miss Laverna Mendichelli. That's where Michaela.
No, but I could see like ATVing on the trails. That would be similar. I mean, it would similar to what I did in Grenada, in that you're on the trails and it's a cliff and blah blah blah. I could see that. You know, it would be short because it doesn't take that long. But like our ATV tour was like 3 hours or something.
Okay, let's go through these comments. Shikarina says, a unique experience is needed or needs to be promoted. I'm in the U.S. with friends who have significant means and they are still put off by hotel costs. Sherry Vanderpool, our sister, says, Bermuda is just a bougie island for ATVs. Shaking my head. Is that? I never knew how you spelled bougie.
Bougie. Bougie. But the thing is, we have to remember, like, when we talk about hotel costs, and I'll just say this quickly, there are people who happily, and I happily paid $1,000 a night in Grenada. Happily paid $1,000 a night in Grenada, had a wonderful all-inclusive experience. And when I say all-inclusive, I don't mean buffet and basic stuff. Well, I mean top shelf liquor, amazing restaurants, amazing experience. Happily paid it.
Can you see this comment?
I can't see the end of it.
All right. Kelly Clark Madeira says the cost of flights and other entities make Bermuda out of price range for majority of people. So have lower cost flights and accommodation options. I'm glad Michaela said what she said, because everything she just said, I was going to say after this comment as well. The pricing, honestly, folks, price is not an issue for people who really want to come. That's just the reality of tourism. The price isn't the issue. The value is the issue.
That's the thing. It is value. So I would say this: when I was at Hamilton Princess weekend before last, stayed in the gold area. What's it called? The Gold Lounge, Gold Suites. When I tell you the value, the service, all the things that you get with that, absolutely amazing. So it is a value thing. People will pay for what they want.
Let me just, we got a lot of comments. Let me get through these. Michaela, I'm saying Michaela, bring Leanna in real quickly. Carla John says, if Bermuda is interested in attracting older gay couples with disposable income, once the laws change, advertise and LGBTQ. Look, I met with someone when I was in tourism, true story, and I'll be fast, in Philadelphia years ago. That was his specialty. We went through a whole study, and I remember taking it back to the Department of Tourism. Let's just say it moved nowhere. So let's talk about
because
the amount of money.
We're so afraid of offending the church vote.
Yeah. Bobby Singh, who lost out on her prize 2 weeks ago because she never sent her email to engage@dailyhour.com.
Bobby.
Staying in the house. She says, I've traveled most of the Caribbean, across Europe, Canada, and the USA. All I can say is Bermuda is way too expensive for the average traveler, especially those with kids. Bermuda attracts a certain demographic exclusively that needs to be attracted. Well, Bermuda doesn't attract that certain demographic. Bermuda advertises to that certain demographic, but the problem is they don't attract them. They want to. Shayna Smith says, after Labor Day, entertainment and nightlife drops off. After dinners, tourists want things to do. All right, so let's go to the let's bring Leanna in, because I'm sure Lee is a traveler. She's actually lived in different spaces as well, and she can probably tell us what they've done in what part of Spain did Leanna live in? Did you know?
Madrid, Valencia.
No, that's more than once. I'm going to say Barcelona and you say Valencia. If either of us get it wrong, we have to buy her dinner. Okay, let's do it. Hey, Lee, how you doing?
To both of you.
Where is it?
Salamanca, which is 2.5 hours outside of Madrid. Hey, so you were actually close the first time.
I said Madrid first. I knew it was somewhere near.
He put Valencia on you, and I was just like, ooh.
So hold on.
Dinner. It's lobster season.
Which one of us are you dinner, Lee?
So it's gonna have to be a split. That's all. It's gonna have to be. We're just gonna split each other.
An even split, and it's lobster season. So
she's like, Wagga and Wahoo's, get some lobster.
There we go.
Your restaurant of choice, Lee. Your restaurant of choice. But real quickly, Lee, if you had to give an opinion, what would you think differently of how to attract people to Bermuda? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, see, I agreed with a lot of the things, a lot of the comments that were coming in. Yes, we're expensive and all of that, but we've all traveled and we've all paid prices, right? And I believe value is the main thing when it comes to Bermuda. And in a nutshell, we need to get creative, first and foremost. And number two, we've got to figure out how to separate church and state. Simple as that. We've got to move away from that because that's what's killing us right now.
Yep. Agree. I'll never forget that Rosie O'Donnell cruise all those years ago.
Yeah. I mean, there's been so many like case studies around the island. I mean, the hotel that they wanted to build just in the city, and a proposed, I think, RFP went out, and they said that the cathedral wasn't going to be the highest building anymore in the church in the city if they were to build this hotel where the old Canadian hotel.
Yes.
And I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Like that's where we're at. Okay.
I mean, the opposite of that would be faith-based tourism, but I'm sure you all remember how that turned out.
You are trolling this morning.
Over to you.
Thanks, Jamal and Michaela, and welcome back, Jamal. Good morning to all of those that are tuned in with us today. I hope everyone is having a great start to this relatively rainy morning. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for our daily hour news break. So here's what's in today's top stories. The island has sadly recorded another death from COVID-19 last night as the number of active cases surged to a high of 948. The latest death brought the death toll to 36 since the pandemic hit in March last year, and the number of infections is 44 higher than the record number from April. Now, 1 in 68 of Bermuda's population is at present infected with the virus. There are 43 COVID-19 patients in hospital, 10 of them being in the intensive care unit. Now, in an appeal to free bed space in the island's hospital, Minister of Health Kim Wilson appealed to people to take their family members out of hospital if possible. Ms. Wilson also offered her condolences to the latest victim, who is reportedly said to be a well-known Bermudian, and also said that, quote, 948 active cases is far too many for an island of our size, end quote. In other news, the spike in COVID-19 patients has sparked a move by the Bermuda Hospitals Board to its second highest alert level. Staff were told in a message sent on behalf of executives on Monday that services were at risk and would be further under threat if the virus was passed between workers and impacted manpower. The note addressed to BHB colleagues said that the rise in hospitalizations has moved the hospital status up to disaster alert level 3. Now, several measures are being taken by BHB, including a ban on visitors other than in exceptional circumstances, such as end of life, and the opening of additional capacity for acute care. A medical tent outside of emergency has also been set up to help with patient flow and separate out the COVID-19 suspected and confirmed patients from other patients. Staff were also warned to be prepared for disaster alert level 4, the highest category. Meanwhile, an Australian cryptocurrency executive living in Bermuda yesterday agreed to be extradited to the United States to face alleged breaches of anti-money laundering laws. Now, magistrates court heard that Gregory Dyer, a senior employee at the cryptocurrency derivative exchange platform BitMEX, will be extradited if the request is approved by Governor Rena Leahy. Arrangements will be made to send Mr. Dyer overseas if his extradition is approved. Magistrate Kamisi Takumbo extended Mr. Dyer's $20,000 bail. And in a little bit of lighter news, Bermuda's listings in the Guinness World Records was recently updated to reflect that we are now the smallest country in the world to win a Summer Olympic gold medal, thanks to Flora Duffy's outstanding performance in Tokyo. This latest listing is added to the island's other record, which includes holding the record for the highest cost of living. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 86 and a low near 78 degrees. Rays of sunshine will emerge after a possible early shower or two. High pressure built in from the northeast, sending largely dry conditions over the island through a veil of high cloud. Though a veil of high cloud may dim the sunshine at times, the high will break down towards the end of the week with shower chances returning. We continue to monitor a disturbance to the distant southwest for possible tropical development. That's all for our daily hour news break. Let's head back to Jamal and Michaela in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Thanks so much for that, Lee. And I want to also thank you for not allowing Michaela to beat up Phil while I was out, all right?
I think that's your job. I feel like, you take that place. Nobody could take that place.
I'm telling you, me and Phil go way back.
All right. Thanks so much, Lee. See you tomorrow.
Don't forget my dinner holding you. Yeah.
He claims he'll be back in November, so there we go.
You got my word. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Right.
Bye, Lee.
All right. Before we take a break, really want to quickly just state thanks again to Philip Trutt because Phil, if you all don't know, so Philip and I, quick story, we actually met through my former colleague Teo Deal. An election was coming in 2007, and Philip ended up giving Teo and I a lift somewhere, and that's how we actually met. Our birthday is a one day apart, so he's actually on vacation this week because his birthday was Saturday, mine was Sunday, and he actually agreed. Like, he didn't agree right away. It was like a week and then a time going by, and he finally, and so thanks to Philip, thanks to his young son Shiloh, thanks to his wife Alicia, and there's another part of this story. So my wife, obviously people know, some people know that she is an event wedding, she does corporate, she's a planner, right? And they were actually the first Bermudian wedding, I believe, that she actually done. And from when she did their wedding in Orlando, there have been many Bermudians, some with her, unfortunately, some without, who have followed what Phil and Felicia did for their wedding, and actually more and more Bermudians have been using that venue. I would encourage them to contact my wife first for better rates and
of course, for the best experience possible.
Exactly. But I honestly consider Phil a brother, a friend, and I am happy to have Phil as a part of our family as we continue to expand and grow. So thank you all for being so kind to Philip Trutt. And Trutt, I just hope that you didn't scare him off, and so that he wants to join us as much as possible with Sherry, with Larry, with Leanna, Michaela, and myself. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after this quick message with Mr. David Parker from the National Drug Control. It's Recovery Month. This is an important conversation. Do not go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
With perfect timing for the height of the summer, Greenhouse Bermuda brings us the island's newest iced tea, Newman's Own Organic Iced Tea in a kaleidoscope of delicious flavors. Most shoppers have seen Newman's Own in the condiment section, recognizable due to the founder's caricature prominently featured on the label, and many pick it up in the knowledge that 100% of the profit goes to registered charities. Newman's Own offers us a new refreshing thirst quencher, dry raspberry, lemon, peach, and passion fruit organic Newman's Own iced teas. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Michaela and I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindo's. And without further ado, let's bring our guest for the day, Mr. David Parker. Thank you for joining us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're okay. We're okay.
We're doing good.
Slightly on vacation, but I'm present. Hopefully it doesn't impact the importance of this conversation. But,
well, I saw that you're not actually in Bermuda. That's amazing kind of thing, because goodness gracious.
Yeah,
you're able to pull it off even when you're not even on the island, huh?
It's the way of the world these days, my friend, I guess.
Yes.
But let's get into the convo. For those who don't know, and I've been a friend of the Department of National Drug Control since my Hot 1075 days over a decade. But what does the department do that people should be aware of?
Well, it's three parts to our program. We have a treatment unit, which is I'm in charge of the treatment unit, treatment officer. My job is to float around to the different services that are offered in Bermuda, look at best practices, make sure that the policies and procedures work best for the client, make sure that the services that are being offered are of quality and high standard. Also involved in accreditation of services. So we have international accrediting body that comes and looks at our services and makes sure that we're meeting the international standard. And also involved in workforce development, making sure that the clinicians, the people who are offering the services, have the training and the knowledge they need in order to help those individuals who are struggling with substance abuse and addiction. We have a prevention arm, which is they're involved in doing activities with the kids, teenagers. They also work alongside Pride Bermuda, and they have after-school programs and then curriculum programs that the teachers offer in the school system. And then we have a research arm, which is involved in making sure that we learn more about the trends and the concerns, the community concerns about substance abuse. So the research team does a whole host of different annual, semi-annual, every 2-year research projects that they do. We study the kids, we study the adults. We've done research on pregnant women and substance abuse. We've done research on homeless, all kind of things like that. So those three arms we're involved in, and we're under the Ministry of Legal Affairs and Constitutional Reform.
Okay, so we know that September is Recovery Month. What is the National Drug Control focused on for this month?
Well, every year we've been celebrating this for a good 32 years now. Every year around the world, it's international. Millions of people, prevention, treatment, recovery programs, and facilities celebrate this month to acknowledge those individuals who have come through treatment or have found other ways in which to stay away from drugs and alcohol, either through their church or through support group meetings. And we just want to celebrate them for the hard work it takes to stay clean and sober every day. Also, it's also an opportunity for us to acknowledge our professionals who do the work every year. So we have on the 20th, we celebrate the National Addictions Professional Day, which is something that's done all across the world as well.
Absolutely. So can you tell us about what sort of awareness and or events will be taking place over the course of this month?
We've had quite a few already. We've had tag days. Focus Counseling Services has had a tag day, fundraising. Right Living House, which is down in corrections. They're in the co-ed facility. They're doing events. Because of COVID, most of the events are done with the clients and those who are in recovery that have come through those services. There are a few, I guess, open to the public events, and I'll share those with you in a few minutes. But most of the events I'm going to share with you now is basically something that's we've done with our recovering people. Harbor Light had a barbecue. Right Living House had games day. We've had candlelight visual for those individuals who have gone on before, and we just want to acknowledge their contribution to our lives. Turning Point did that. Well, actually, they're going to do that today, actually. And we have a ceremony at the end of the month to acknowledge the Counselor of the Year and the Prevention Specialist of the Year. And on Saturday, the 25th, Nelson Bascom Center is going to offer free car wash at Bowes Island gas stations, and everyone's open to that. If you want your car wash, you can come by between 10 and 2. And you can get your wheels all nice and shiny again. And then Turning Point has a panel discussion on the 30th. It's a WebEx panel discussion. You can get all of that information from, you can call me at 294-9706 if you want any of the details for any of these events. If you're in recovery, certainly you're invited to these things because we want to celebrate you.
Of course.
But then the car wash and I forgot, Harbor Lights Recovery Walk. We're going to do a little recovery walk on Friday the 24th. Everybody's open to come and join us on that too. We're going to walk around Hamilton and just share our little purple t-shirts and let people know that we're proud and happy and free from drugs and alcohol.
I love it. So I just feel like there's kind of like a stigma in the community about people who, seek treatment and are in recovery. How can we kind of combat that and be more supportive?
Well, one of the best things to do is to acknowledge, first of all, that treatment works. Those who are in treatment, they're learning how to live life free from the struggles that they have with using drugs. It's not an easy task. People have history all around them every day.
Yeah.
This island is very small and the challenges are great. And so it's best way to help, I guess, deal with the stigma is to understand that treatment works. These are people, they're individuals, they have lives, they have families, they have a chance. Mm-hmm. There is hope. They have a chance to change things around. Yes, some people go through treatment multiple times, but we've had people who have gone through multiple times. I've had clients myself who have, been on their 10th and 12th time and they got it.
Yeah.
So you even though, you might say, well, he give up on that guy. He's been to treatment so many times, but actually most times people need multiple episodes of treatment before they can actually get it.
Right. Absolutely. So what can we do if we have a family member or friend who, is having challenges, who's struggling? What can we do to support them or guide them, if you will?
Well, first thing you don't want to do is enable their behavior. So if they've got a problem, they have a problem, they need to get some help. Mm-hmm. And so you can encourage them to get into treatment if they decide, then they don't want to hear that. We've had professionals come out and do interventions. Interventions are available to families. You may not have all of the skills and the talent and the knowledge to be able to convince someone to go into treatment, but a professional can help look at the discrepancies of their life. Mm-hmm. And what they need to do and how it is affecting the family, the wife, the kids, whatever. And maybe that can convince them to come in and get some help. They can call Bermuda Assessment and Referral Center to get an assessment done to see where actually the best place for them to get the treatment. That's 292-5005. Mm-hmm. 292-5005 if you want an assessment. If you can get the person to come in and get an assessment, then that's kind of like the first step to figuring out how serious the problem is and where's the best place for them to get the help they need.
Indeed.
No, I just wanted to ask this. So for someone who is actually seeking help, so someone who's crying out for help, that they need help, what can we actually say to encourage them to reach out and get the help?
I would say, give them, go to the phone book, show them the numbers of the places that they can go to. You got anywhere is the first entry level. You don't have to go to Bermuda Assessment Referral Center. You can go to any of the treatment services and they can do an assessment and find out what's needed. So you got Turning Point at Mid-Atlantic Wellness Institute. You have Focus Counseling Services, which is on where I can't even remember where. Then
it's like at the top of Collectors Hill, right? Is it Focus?
No. They're in town.
Okay.
So you got Harbor Lights Salvation Army, which is on King Street. You have Nelson Bascom Center, which is on 3 Cockburn Road, close to Dockyard. You have I would say where else was the other place? Pathways, which is in Devonshire.
Well, where can people go to find a list of these places? On your website?
On the government website, or you can look at the blue pages in then your phone book. If you're looking for a particular service, you can go on. All of them have, I believe, either some kind of social media presence as well, and you can call National Drug Control, and I can direct you to any of those places.
Not to make light of the conversation, but when you said phone book, I just have not seen a phone book in so long, right?
Me either.
Yeah, they still do have a place. They still do have a place.
If you Google the spot, you can find it that way too.
There you go. Absolutely. So what do you say to people who are worried about seeking treatment and the fact that they're seeking treatment not being confidential? Because I've heard stories of people who work in these places, especially like MWI, for instance. Oh, so-and-so's in here getting XYZ. Like, what do you say to people who don't go because of that?
Well, first of all, let's acknowledge that it's unprofessional for someone to be disclosing that someone is in treatment for or in a place for some kind of service. That's unprofessional and it should never happen. However, it does. And I would just simply say, don't let that discourage you from getting the help that you need, because at the end of the day, it's you that needs to make changes, or it's your loved one who needs to make changes. And if you allow the unprofessional or just the gossip, people just gossip. They see you there. They think they say something that, it's not even true, that has no truth to it. And they don't know. They don't know what's going on and why you're there. But at the end of the day, I would just suggest just go forward, get the help you need, and you'll find yourself in a better place if you don't worry about the things that people are saying and doing around you.
Absolutely.
And we're treatment professionals and clinicians. They're in the business of getting rid of the excuses. So you don't use the fact that somebody's telling your business on the street that is the reason why I'm not coming up here. That's not a strong enough argument for you not to come get treatment.
Yep, got you. If you have any comments or questions for Mr. Parker, please send them through. We'll get through as many as possible as we are running out of time. Kelly Clark Medeiros, she's asking, when will Bermuda offer evidence-based treatment for people with concurrent mental health and substance abuse and addiction issues?
Good question. Thanks for the question, Kelly. It's something that's been long overdue. And when Kelly talks about Concurrent, she's talking about people with mental health issues as well as a substance abuse problem, which is one of the most difficult kind of cases for clinicians to work with. It is something that will, I'm hoping one day will happen. There has to be a financial investment, both with professionals as well as an established location for it to take place. And once we have the funds, the political will, and the movement that's required to get behind something for that to take place, that's the only time it's going to happen. And I'm hoping that it's moving in that direction right now.
Alrighty. Before you go, just remind people, it is Recovery Month. What in the most concise way possible, how they can get involved, how they can learn more, and where they can access information about Recovery Month.
Well, the government website has all of the events there, as well as some information about Recovery Month. Certainly, you can talk to any of the locations where treatment is taking place. Everyone's involved in Recovery Month. Talk to your individuals who have used drugs and now living a life free, they can share some wonderful stories about how they've overcome and are helping others make changes in their own lives, because that's what recovering people do. They help another person find their way. So and that's what we're trying to do to this month, is trying to encourage those who are in recovery. We have hundreds of people in recovery in Bermuda. Some even have gone away for treatment and decided to stay where they were. And some have gone to treatment and come back. And it's a really fantastic community of people who are trying to help each other stay clean, sustain their recoveries, and of course, help somebody else who's struggling.
Absolutely.
Indeed. David Parker, thank you so much. National Drug Control. Folks, if you need more information, just send us a message and we'll be sure to put you in touch. We appreciate you for coming on to have this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. No problem. And please use this as a vehicle if you'd like to get something out to the public. All right?
That's the plan. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks again.
Take care.
Thank you.
Do not go anywhere, folks. Thanks again to Mr. Parker. If you enjoyed that conversation, found it helpful, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. If you need more information, always just reach out and we will direct you in that regard. Kills, we have a daily play coming up that audience, I'm going to tell you this, audience. Be prepared to win this.
Ah!
I mean, I don't think she's going to shock us on this one, folks.
All right.
Be prepared to win this, audience. So get your fingers ready. You might want to call up somebody and share the prize with them. But the daily play, yeah, I'm throwing it today, folks. I am. If she gets this, dinner on me.
All right.
All right, here we go.
It's lobster season.
Yeah, half a lobster.
A little half, a little half.
All right, we'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio. Tune in every Tuesday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Bermuda time as we bring you the love, romance, sexiness with nighttime jams. Only on your station for conversations and entertainment. BCG Radio. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices.
All right. Once again, thanks to Mr. Parker for coming on from the National Drug Control. Again, if you enjoyed that conversation, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these kinds of conversations as well. So anyone struggling with addiction, as Kelly Clark Medeiros is saying, and wants to talk through it, if their use or behaviors is an issue, Solstice is available at 292-3456 or info@solstice.bm for a free 15-minute intake appointment. Now, we don't normally do that, but I think just, people need access to assistance. Yes. So happy to do that right there for Kelly. Something Kathy Brumby stated, it's very difficult to move around Bermuda confidentially.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes. We were having this conversation the other day in light of Texas passing their asinine abortion bill. Mm-hmm. And in Bermuda, even if you get an abortion, it's still not confidential because it goes to a committee and it stays on your file and certain people can access that file. So it's still not, you would think that things that are meant to be confidential would be, but in Bermuda, no.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Well, look, folks, we live in a tough world. We
do.
And, let's just go. It's daily playtime. Time for the daily play brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Michaela, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, folks, it's a say it, don't sing it. So she might need your help. Here are the lyrics to a famous song that we heard last night, and it stopped.
Oh, Jesus.
Quote, it's going to take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. End quote.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No hints.
I'm gonna give you one more. Right. I'll read it. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in. Wow, people got it.
Like, I don't know. Toto what?
Wow. Philip Trott actually got the artist and song.
What's the song? Africa?
Africa. Toto's the artist, Africa.
I'm gonna have to Google this.
You don't know Africa? Really? So Cameron Mitchell-Jones put Toto, but remember, folks, you got to put the artist and song. Carla Jones throwing shade at you, Kale. She's saying that was easy.
Listen, I got Monday's one, which nobody even remotely guessed. Okay, so that is what I'm holding on to.
No, it's not Barris Hammond. Yes, you did get it. It would have been Rains in Africa. And
okay, yeah.
Phil says, "Don't disrespect me when it comes to music." Bye.
Phil changed his picture. Check him out. Okay.
Hold on. Can Phil actually be considered a winner now that his part of the family? Oh, you know what?
I mean, technically he's not. So yes, he's a winner.
No, he actually doesn't have a mug. So yeah, he's a winner. Yeah, we can give him a winner. All right, Phil, you are today's winner. Congratulations to you. You know, yeah.
I mean, it's the least we can do.
Yeah. So Selena M. Simons says you would have had to been around during the old FM 89 days. So
yeah, I was not.
Yeah. Zena Edwards says big tune, Africa.
I'm gonna Google it after this.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure she listens to that. Kale's final thoughts on today's show.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see this study that's going to come out of the BTA. Obviously it's in all of our best interests for Bermuda to be an attractive destination. So I'm really interested to see what's going to come out of it. I really want to know what we're going to be promoting as our product, because like we say, people have no problem paying for value. So when people go on and on about the hotels are expensive, blah, 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 people have no problem paying for value. End of story.
Yeah, I think from a tourism perspective, I just think the biggest challenge Bermuda's always had is value. One of the challenges, tourism's such a delicate topic for me. One of the things I've noticed on this trip is people don't tip. And it's this arrogance of mainly, and I'm going to say it, white American tourists that I've come across. Like, almost like, yo, these people are working. They're helping you. Like, why is it?
But aren't they discouraged? Aren't tips discouraged at those sort of resorts? I'm not going to disclose where you are because you haven't.
No, not for the drivers and the people at the excursions. I'm talking about in particular. Okay. It bothersome to me. And so what I say that to say this, folks, if you have enough money to travel somewhere, make sure you have enough to reward the people who are making your experience
absolutely
the best that it is. Seriously.
Absolutely. Agree 100%.
Absolutely. So I'll say that much. From a Bermuda perspective, I think Bermuda tourism is in good hands. I think we have people that actually care about Bermudians. Let me repeat.
I agree.
I think we have people in Bermuda tourism now that actually care about Bermudians.
Yes.
Agreed. I will repeat it over and over. But I say that because in order to really sell an experience and promote and market it, you have to care about the people who are benefiting from it. And so I think Bermuda's in good hands. Michaela,
absolutely.
I'm going to on the back of what you're saying, I think that, we have something special. It's just about what this study finds that we should focus on.
Yes, that's the thing. And I mean, I feel like we had a moment when we were talking about like culinary, this and that, and like Marcus Samuelson came here, of course, has his restaurant. Then we have Chef Eric Ajapong coming here and doing things. But again, that's not enough. And they're not Bermudian. So,
right.
Correct.
Look, as far as the recovery, folks, if you know someone who's suffering through addiction and, they may not know they have a problem, hey, make that call. Have some conversations. Let's get through it. Appreciate Parker and them at the National Drug Control for trusting our platform. Kales, I know you have some daily inspiration for us.
I got some good ones today. All right, ready? Decide what kind of life you really want, and then say no to everything that isn't that.
Ah, yes. You know, I have a mentor who often tells me, you have to learn how to say no in order to grow.
Listen, no is a complete sentence, and I stand by that.
Yes, you can't tell everyone yes. Well, folks, it's been a pleasure. I have refreshed again. Thanks again to Phil for stepping in. Hopefully, he's going to be willing to do it more often. But hey, thanks again to all of you for supporting Phil these last couple of days. And thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Linders for ensuring that we were to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Michaela, and I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, do make it a great day. We're out.
Just